Hi, my name's Rox and I like to talk about knitting mostly. So today I'm going to show you how to cast on in pattern using the long tail cast on. But first I want to answer a question that Knit Motive had in the Rocks group on Ravelry. She wanted to know, how do you fix a drop cast on stitch without ripping all the way back and redoing your cast on? So I'm going to show you how to do that first.
Okay, so I'm purling across my first row after the cast on, and as I'm getting ready to do the next stitch, it comes loose and I drop the cast on, and I've got these two loops, and what do? Well, this is a little easy to tell which yarn is which because they're different colors. But so if you take a look at them and see which one is connected to the if I pull on this one, I can see how the purl bump tightens right here, and if I pull this one, I can see how that tightens the one on the needle. So what I want to do is I want to actually be on the knit side of the fabric. So I flip to the other side, and basically what I'm doing is a make one right increase. I lift the cast on edge yarn from back to front, and I put the other one, so if you see what I'm doing, I lift that one up so that the right leg is hanging over there and the left leg hanging over. So let's look at that again. So I do this one this way and that one that way, and I put that on the needle, and then I lift it over. And then I've got my cursive letter E backwards loop, just like the other ones. And I have my, and the stitches on the needle with the right leg in front, left and back, and it's not twisted. Then I need to turn it back around, and since it's on the wrong needle, I need to move it over here before I work it.
So the first way I'm going to show you how to cast on in pattern is if you use the English or the thumb method version of the long tail cast on, where the thumb loop is done, the backwards loop is done over your left thumb like it is for all versions of the long tail cast on, but the working yarn is held in your right hand, just like if you throw or use the lever method of knitting English style, where the working yarn is in your right hand to knit.
Okay, so I'm going to cast on English style. I don't use a slip knot, so with the working yarn in my right hand, the first thing I do is a backwards loop. And I anchor my needle when I knit this way. So the next thing for casting on is you enter to knit, you wrap the yarn, pull the loop over, and so these are knits. So I've got 3 knits now. Okay, so now I want to purl. Well, when I purl English style with the working yarn in my right hand, I bring the yarn to the front, and then I purl. Well, it can do the same thing here. So, but I enter to purl, which is from right to left, rather than as I knit, I go left to right. So I'm going to purl, so I'm entering this way. I wrap the yarn, and I bring it over. So I've got 1 purl stitch. Let's do 3 since I've got 3 knits kind of at the end of my. So I've got 3 knits and 3 purls. And these aren't especially, these are kind of loose because got the camera between my eyes and my hands, so sometimes I don't knit as well as I would otherwise. So if I want to go back to knitting, I bring it to the back just like I would if I were knitting normally, and let's do 3 more knits. Kind of not doing it close enough to the tips here. There's 3 knits. I want to do purls. I bring it to the front, flip it over, and there I've got 3 purls. So I've got 3 knits, 3 purls, 3 knits, 3 purls.
Now the next method of casting on in pattern is the way that I usually cast on, which is the Continental Method, or the method where that I used last week, where I had both strands in my left hand. And in that method I knit Continental, but I purl my my backwards loops Norwegian style.
Now I'm going to cast on with both strands of yarn in my right hand or my left hand. Again, I don't do a slip knot. This is the same as doing a backwards loop by doing this twist like that. So this could be a knit or a purl. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do the same things I did before: 3 knits, 3 purls. So this is stitch 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to do Norwegian purl. 1, oops, grab the yarn through, 2, 3. Then I go back to doing knits. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's 3. The next way I'm going to do is normal continental knit and then Eastern purl. So I've got my backwards loop, that's the first knit, second knit, third knit. Now I have to bring I've got my backwards loop, I have to bring my yarn to the front. This is tricky. And then I scoop it this way. That's an Eastern purl. The left leg is in the front, the right leg is in the back. That means I have to knit on the next row through the back loop. Bring it forward. I come through the thumb loop, scoop it off. Yarn forward. I come through the thumb loop. I scoop it. I've got it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, see if I can even do a regular continental purl. It's really hard. So I have it like this, but I have to come under that other yarn too and then back through. Oy. This is why it's so hard. Okay, so I come through under the thumb loop and under the other yarn and then try to go back under this way and see if I make it there. So I have to go under both and then back and hope this doesn't get twisted there. This wants to twist around. So this has to be, that's got to be in front. So I come through under both of them and then I go back through like that, making sure that this, if you can see it, this part right here kind of stays there while I let go of that.